In what is not at all surprising, a company owned by two of Donald Trump's top mega donors has been busted, illegally bringing in dozens of workers from Mexico in order to staff its warehouses. Uline, an office and shipping company controlled by the billionaires Liz and Dick Uihlein, has been shuttling in workers from Mexico who are using tourist visas and visas meant for employees who are entering the US temporarily to receive professional training, known as B1 visas. Now, instead of being part of a training program where they're not supposed to work and earn money, the Mexican employees stay for 1 to 6 months and perform normal work in Uline's US warehouses. Ah, of course. This is according to sources with direct knowledge speaking to The Guardian, who did an investigation, a months-long investigation, finding that Uline is exploiting immigrant workers. That's right. Illegally, right? Now, of course, here's the thing. This is a pretty big issue of hypocrisy, right? The thing is, it is not going to matter. To anyone who, supports Trump, supports the Ulines, it's either, the reaction is going to be a fake news, right? Or we don't care, all right? And that's really it. Again, the hypocrisy, right? And so I don't even want to bother with that because the Ulines obviously funded Donald Trump, and Trump wants to deport the immigrants that are destroying America, right? Poisoning the blood of the country. And so, no, we're not going to bother with that. The thing that I want to get to is how they're exploiting immigrant labor and how they should be punished for it, okay? And how they probably won't be. Now, the company has allegedly used employees without proper work permits, even as Uline's super PAC Restoration supported Trump's presidential campaign with a TV ad attacking his opponent, Kamala Harris, for allowing an immigrant invasion at the U.S.-Mexico border. And so shuttling immigrants from Mexico to come work in your factories illegally, that's totally fine. Not an invasion. But, people running from corrupt governments or, violence, gang violence, spurred on by our, drug war, as well as natural disasters. Those are the invaders. I see. I see how that works. The Ulines have actually spent tens of millions of dollars supporting candidates, including Trump and other right-wing politicians who have called for mass deportations of immigrants. All while they're bringing in undocumented, immigrants under false pretenses. So incorrect documentation in order to exploit them. Projection, as always, with these ghouls, these people. Now, the Ulines were the second largest political donors in this year's election. That actually gave more than even sissy SpaceX himself, Elon Musk, the world's richest man. Great. Now, of course, one of the reasons that rich people give so much to Donald Trump is for his tax cuts and deregulation. That's what a Trump administration will bring. Okay, it's going to happen. There are going to be massive tax cuts for the rich and deregulation on corporations. So expect that, right? Expect it. And expect none of it to trickle down to you because it never trickles down. But here's the thing, though. It gets worse. Not only are they bringing them over from Mexico, right, these workers under false pretenses, but Guardian reporters also observed a dozen Uline workers from Mexico living in a company hotel. Okay, this is, or a hotel near the company's Pleasant Prairie headquarters. I call it a company hotel because basically this hotel has been paid for, blocks of rooms purchased for these immigrants to stay in for 1 to 6 months. So the company pays for their lodging, food, and rental cars. In fact, a staff member at the hotel confirmed that Uline was among the first customers at the hotel to book blocks of suites for workers when the hotel opened about 3 years ago. And again, they're pretty well furnished, okay, for people to stay there for long periods of time. So I would basically call that a company hotel. Now, of course, the little arrangement is, it may sound nice. Oh, look at, they're paying for room and board and food and all this wonderful stuff. Oh, that's great. I wish my company would do that. No, no, you don't. No, you don't. Because here's the thing. It gives the company so much power over the workers. Okay. Not only can they threaten the workers with deportation, right? But they could also be like, hey, you better, do your job. Don't complain. Don't complain about conditions. Don't complain about pay, whatever, because we will stop paying for your stuff. We will stop paying for your lodging. We will send you back to Mexico. So that really is straight up exploitation. All right. Now, sources who spoke to The Guardian also alleged that executives at the highest level of the company knew about this, including Liz Uline. Yeah. Now, the question, though, here is, all right, so they knew about this little operation. Why do it? Why are you flouting immigration law to hire workers from Mexico? When, again, you want to have these, you want to have people who are here, without the right documentation, kicked out of the country. Doesn't make sense, does it? Well, it actually does. Sources said that this could be connected to the company's strict and complicated hiring practices, which include follicle drug testing of employees. One said, quote, this is one person with close knowledge of the matter saying they were not able to staff their warehouses, especially in Pennsylvania. So they looked at Mexico for a workforce. Wait a minute. Hold on. I was told that it was the immigrants that are bringing the drugs. They're bringing the crime. But it turns out, no, it's the Americans that are doing the drugs and doing the crime, which is why they apparently cannot get jobs at these warehouses. Now, as far as the crime goes, too, it looks like the bosses were doing crime by breaking immigration law. Now, the Mexican workers have an implicit understanding that they should tell border officials that they are entering the U.S. to be trained at Uline. One Uline document seen by The Guardian, which was used by an employee in Mexico to enter the U.S., said the employee would be receiving training in warehouse safety, understanding how to use vehicle-mounted unit devices, and understanding how to identify warehouse locations, which would not take about 6 months to learn. Seriously. I mean, oh yeah, warehouse safety. It's a few hours of training by the computer. Okay. As far as like vehicle mounted devices, I learned how to drive a high-low in a day, less than a day. It doesn't mean I was good at it, but I learned how to drive one. Not a problem. And so like that does not take 6 months. Okay. And legal experts said that the B-1 visas are intended to be used for the short-term visits, right? No longer than 6 months. And that workers are not meant to engage in productive employment in that time. So what happened, though? Well, sources allege that once the Mexican workers entered the U.S., they would work regular shifts in the Uline warehouses alongside of their American counterparts. Oh, well, that seems illegal. It doesn't just seem illegal. That is totally illegal. In fact, the person with direct knowledge of the situation said they are actually doing work, not training. Person added that Uline was very careful with the amount of time that the Mexican employees stayed in the U.S. as a way to, of course, cover their ass. Cover your ass. That's what they're doing. Okay. No, can't have these. It's basically temp workers, okay, which you can use and abuse and then throw away, and then you just shuttle in the next group, all right? And so they're not only exploiting like temporary work, they're also doing temporary work visas, exploiting those, as well as lying about them doing actual work. They're not getting training. Now, why would they take this risk, though? Why would Uline take all these risks? And then, pay out for room and board? Doesn't make any sense, right? For warehouse workers? Well, here's where it starts to make sense. Turns out they are paid Mexican wages into accounts in Mexico. And although they receive extra compensation for traveling to the US and staying there, at the end of the day, they are paid far less than their American counterparts. And there it is. So at the end of the day, they still, even with all that, they still end up paying these people way, way less than American workers. And that's what it's all about. Okay. And the other thing is, not only can they pay them, very low wages, which they do, those workers will never be here long enough to use, to get benefits like healthcare. And as a bonus, they can be controlled through their food, housing, and immigration status. It is perfect arrangement for this company. Perfect arrangement. Which is why the request for Mexican participants come from a senior executive at Uline's Pleasant Prairie headquarters, where some of the warehouses are based, according to internal documents. So executives know, Liz Uihlein knows, very likely that they both know. Okay, and there it is. Now, of course, immigration experts, including lawyers and advocates for immigrant rights, say, yeah, this is definitely illegal. The B-1 visas that are being used by some of the workers to enter the U.S. are intended for workers to train or briefly attend a seminar or conferences, not allows them to work alongside of American employees. Quote, this is Mark Christopher, a Wisconsin-based immigration lawyer. It does not allow them to obtain wages for labor in the United States. It absolutely does not. If they're doing warehouse work, especially second or third shift, that's not a close call. That is 100% absolutely not allowed. Ira Kurtzbahn, another immigration lawyer, said he believed that it was clearly illegal for the company to be engaged in a pattern of conduct that possibly involved labor trafficking of people who were coming under one pretense, but actually coming for another reason. That would be false pretenses. That would be a lie. Quote, this is the whole, Uline's alleged use of its Mexican workers to staff warehouses in the U.S., Kurtzbahn said, underscored the real difficulties facing companies in being able to secure legal arrangements for workers. And so that's the other thing. Funny enough, it kind of points out an issue with our terrible, antiquated immigration system that is massively broken and that Republicans refuse to fix. Why do they refuse to fix it? So that, well, stuff like this can happen. Where they can get immigrant workers, shuttle them in from Mexico, exploit them, while driving down American wages, by the way. Okay, so that's the other after effect of this. And they get away with it. So, of course, they don't want to fix that system. It works very, very well for them and makes these companies very, very profitable. All while the owners are out there saying, oh, we need to kick out all the immigrants. They're destroying this country. We agree with Donald Trump. That's where we give him millions of dollars. Yeah. So, but again, the hypocrisy, for them, it doesn't matter. In fact, here's what Kurtzman said. Quote, this is the whole false premise of Trump. I mean, the idea that these people are taking jobs away from Americans, they're not. We need millions of people to do this kind of work. We've always looked away, even though we know most people who fulfill these kinds of jobs are not allowed to be working in the U.S. Again, that's why they don't want to fix it. There's another immigration lawyer, Mo Goldman of Arizona, said that it's common practice for employers to call him and ask him how to legally employ foreign workers, only to find that the legal processes are, quote, very restrictive and difficult to navigate. It does force employers to look at other ways to get workers here because they cannot find the workforce in the United States. And there it is. Shocker. Immigrants are not taking the jobs. Okay. They're not stealing your job. They're taking your jobs. Okay. No, they're not. Americans don't want to do those jobs for what these companies offer. All right. Oh, and they don't want to work in the conditions that they're forced to work in. That's it. And they don't want to be controlled by these companies. And these companies do want to underpay you, and they do want to control your life. That's it. Christine Newman Ortiz, director of the Wisconsin immigrant and labor rights group Voices de la Frontera, said that she believes the program was clearly undermining wages for all the workers at the company. Quote, it is a way for Uline to undercut wages for U.S. workers, while also not paying justly the Mexican workers for what their co-workers are earning here for the exact same work, while also having to sacrifice time away from their families and communities. She also noted the irony of the Ulines profiting off the backs of Mexicans even as they support a presidential campaign, and now president-elect, who has vowed to deport immigrants, disparages them, and wants to take away birthright citizenship. It really shows the cynicism. It's a model of international labor exploitation, while at the same time really putting money into this propaganda campaign to try to pit workers against each other. They want to maintain immigration, but under very oppressed conditions. And there it is. Again, I could sit here and call out the hypocrisy, but no one cares. No one cares at all. So you know what? I don't care. I don't care about the hypocrisy. You know what I want to do, though? I want to call the government to do their job. Investigate this company. And if you find out they're breaking immigration law, if you actually cared about this, then maybe this company should be fined heavily. And you know what? If it were up to me, I'd go further. I'd put them out of business. What? Yeah. Oh, are you not hiring American? Oh, you're not hiring American, are you? Not only are you not hiring American, but you're abusing the immigration system. Well, that's it. Your business license, gone. And your CEO, your board members, anyone who had any knowledge of these illegal hiring practices, shuttling people from Mexico under false pretenses, you're human trafficking. And that's what you're going to get hit with. Oh, heads would roll. Oh, now, of course, Donald Trump, he would never have the balls to actually be able to, enforce immigration law. Do you, Trump? Do you not have the nutsack to be able to hold these people accountable? Ha! Not your donors. No, you're a little chicken shit bitch. That's what you're going to do. You're going to bow right down to the donors, to people who own you, like Elon Musk. While, just saying out the side of your mouth, okay, lying out your mouth, like, oh, no, the immigrants, oh, what terrible, oh, my God, I can't believe the immigrants are coming in, while you're also crawling on your hands and knees to these donors and be like, oh, please give me money, because you're a bitch. That's what you are. You're a cuck for billionaires. For other ones. For Elon Musk. That's it. That's what you are. Unless, of course, you actually really want to crack down on these criminal CEOs. You'll never do it. You'll never do it. You'll never crack down on the people who are making these decisions, who are bringing these people over, exploiting them, screwing over the American worker. I don't know. Let's see some balls. Let's see some balls. But I can guarantee 100% you'll never do it because you're a bitch. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.